Hey guys, it's Spike with the Pagan Vlogs, and I have something I'd like to talk about. I'm sorry I haven't been on really on the Pagan Vlogs much because I've been doing a lot of other things. I've been just starting college, so forgive me if I'm sort of, you know, haven't been on much, but I will try to frequent this channel a little more. I just haven't been as involved in the pagan, life, I guess, lately. I've been sort of not as much in that state, but I'm starting to kind of get there in a different way. But I really haven't been in the a pagan state of mind lately, just with the move and with, with everything. It's like I find my stuff. It's just a matter of even finding my stuff because a lot of it's still kind of stored. But I'm getting most of it together and whatnot, so I'm getting better in that sense, I guess. An interesting topic, and it's something that I've become especially interested in lately, is astral projection. I tried it before when I was just recently becoming interested in paganism, because my book kind of told you how you do it, but it really didn't. The book didn't give very good information on it. It just kind of gave a basic run through. I mean, it's a book that's very hotly debated whether it's a good book or not. A lot of people don't think it is. And it just sort of said, okay, it gave like a column and a half about astral projection. I'm like, okay, well, this is lovely. It gives me the basic idea of how to do it, but I mean, it's like, I need a little bit more help with things. Um, there was one night where I got pretty close. I feel like I was as close as I've ever been to astral projection. But that time I was interrupted because I failed to let my girlfriend know that I was going to try it, and she came in the room, and I was kind of trying to be like, okay, she'll see I'm meditating and leave it alone, maybe. But she didn't know if I was like conscious, so at the time I hadn't projected, but I was kind of, I'm like, okay, just kind of try to block it out and continue, and I was in the right state of mind. But then she kind of shook me, and I actually got pretty upset because I was close enough to where it was sort of like to where it didn't. The interruption was just so abrupt. It's like when somebody, but yeah, I was just sort of in that much of a state, and the closest I've been, and I just get interrupted. Now, likely, I still probably wouldn't have succeeded. Who knows? I like to think that I would have, but since then, I've tried it a few times with the same thing, same recording, and I've got somewhat close. Um, and that's probably the time that I was closest to the vibrational stage. I mean, like I felt the vibration. And that same night, I tried again, and I got to tell you, I had this feeling like I had stepped out of my body. Like I felt like my soul had basically, gone up, and I felt like this vibration as if something was pulling me back, but something was like still trying to push out. Like I was trying to push out, but it was like I had to get past this barrier. And I've had this a few times where I feel like I'm about to go out and I have to get past this barrier. And I felt that night like I had finally kind of got past the barrier, and I kind of got up, and but I couldn't float. I kind of got up, and my eyes were closed, and I kind of stepped up, and I thought I was out of my body at the time. And I kind of turned around, and my girlfriend was laying next to me. And I look down and I see her, but I don't see my body. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just the way I'm experiencing. But at that point, it's like I touch things and I realize, you know what? I'm awake. And it was a binaural thing. It was a binaural guided meditation, and people had left on the comments that they had projected for the first time using it. But for one, I didn't have stereo headphones. Two, when I have used headphones, the only ones I have look like it's playing on an iPod, and they look like this. These are the ones I've been able to find lately. And the final thing um, is that I cannot hear out of my left ear. So like but I still experience some of what the binaural supposedly does, but it's like it's not quite. I don't know if it's quite the same because I don't know if it's taking it. My ear is taking it in, but I just can't hear it, or if it's not taking it in at all, and it's just this side that's making me feel something. I really don't know, but I've had the earplugs in both ears, again I've had it going out over into the universe. Um, which also brings in a debate. I don't really meditate as frequently as I should. I don't really meditate as regularly as I should, and I've kind of gotten off of meditating. I mean, like, but honestly, it used to just be something I did sort of occasionally, and I tried to do every once in a while, but it was never something that I made a true habit out of. I mean, I kind of made a habit out of doing it every once in a while, but then it went away. Because if you don't have a consistent time that you meditate or whatever, that, you know, then you kind of fall out of it more easily than if you've been consistently meditating every day. You're less likely to fall out of it. Now, granted, there's always the whole, maybe if I just don't do it today. And there are reasonable times when you have to say, you know what, today is not, it's not a time for me to meditate. It really isn't. But I think the better thing to do on those days is to say, hey, I really don't have a lot of time to meditate, but I should stick with it. So maybe 5-10 minutes of just sort of calming myself and meditating a little bit, and that's probably the most I can do, you know. But since then, my trying to astral project hasn't been going as well, even. Part of it is that some people say you should try to astral project when you're really tired. For me, bad idea. Because even if for some reason I had astral projected, I basically fall asleep in the middle of the meditation. Whether I do it if I do it with my iPod, I'll fall asleep and kind of wake up. But if I do it all by myself, I'll usually fall asleep and wake up and be like, wait, I was meditating. That's happened to me. So too tired doesn't really work for me. I tried astral projecting with the blue moon. Um, that's one thing I did try. And I stayed up so late talking to somebody and trying to get the astral projection thing onto my iPod that it was so late that I basically fell asleep. So I want to see if any of you guys have any experiences with astral projection. How long did it take you guys? And how well did you have to know how to meditate itself? Or did you have to know how to visualize real well? Also, do you find that something like marijuana, for example, would better or worse affect your attempts to astral project? Or alcohol for some people? And that's a whole other topic that I want to talk about later is the spiritual use of marijuana or alcohol or even tobacco or sometimes for some people other drugs. Some people use other drugs for spiritual things like, I could say peyote is what Native American use. That's a more, extreme than, well, at least than like marijuana, hallucinogen and whatnot. But I'm curious. Do any of you guys ever use like marijuana, or do any of you guys ever drink a little bit when you're trying to do something like this, or do you feel like those things are best kept separated? I can just tell you that I do not drink and I do not use any actual drugs. And I do not smoke cigarettes. Um, and but I do believe that marijuana can be something very spiritual, and for people who feel like that's right for them, I feel like it could be something spiritual. Um, but it's not like it's a hallucinogen or anything. But for some people, it might help them calm down. But for some people, it's like they don't know whether it's gonna just help them calm down or if it's actually gonna, help them. Because some people feel like it makes them lose concentration. I don't necessarily agree with that, but some people might say that it does. So I'm curious, what are you guys' opinions on using marijuana when trying to astral project, or what kind of crystal would you recommend? Like, I've used a few. I've used a few different types of crystals. What kind of incense? Um, do do you have incense going? Do you have light incense, strong incense? I have a cat litter box in my room, so I like to keep one in there if the cat's in here. Um, I like to have some sort of incense. But when it's clean, do you need incense? Is it better not to? Is it better to have like a Zen type incense, or is it better to have like a Hindu type incense? And the reason, if some of you know your incense, Hindu would be more strong, Zen, possibly musky, whereas you know, something like a Zen incense would be very light and not strong. So I was just saying, like, where on that scale, or what sort, flowery, herb, does it need to be natural? Should it be like, do you want it like something from a metaphysical shop, Heavy Champa, Nag Champa, or can it be like something from Walmart? I hate to say it, sometimes I get my incense from Walmart, sometimes I get the real nice stuff from the metaphysical shop. It really depends. Lately I've just been getting a little bit of incense from Walmart, or sometimes I've even been getting the larger ones from gas stations or things from gas stations because that's what's been available to me when I was living in another place in Michigan before this move. But I'm sorry, I'm rambling on a bit, I know. But what do you guys think about astral projection? Is it something that I should wait until I'm more experienced with meditation or more experienced with magic and live that sort of lifestyle more dedicatedly, I guess? There's a lot of other things I really need to focus on too. So it's got to be something that's like, I can't necessarily give 4 hours out of each day towards metaphysical stuff. You know what I mean? Um, but maybe try to dedicate maybe an hour and a half, or at least start with 30 minutes dedicated to it, in some form. But what do you guys think? Should I get more regularly into the rhythm? I plan on doing that. But my real question for you, and this is the final question, should I continue my attempts to astral project? As in, should I continue to try every night or every other night or every once a week to see where I am? Um, or should I sort of start with more basic? Or like I said, do a mixture. So like let's say every Saturday night, I try to astral project. But every weeknight I kind of try to do more of a different, sort of a lighter, less expectation type of meditation to just sort of get my mind, on that correct track, I guess. What do you guys think? What are your opinions? Obviously, I'm the one who has to make the decision, but give me your opinions on all of this. I haven't gotten a lot of comments on this channel, probably because I haven't made a lot of videos or done a lot of promoting on this channel. But I'm really interested in people's thoughts on this. So let me know what you think. Spike with the Pagan Vlogs. Peace out. Much love and blessed be. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Later.